First off, I want to start this press conference off by saying welcome back. I hope everybody's as excited for the upcoming 2027 season, as I know we are here in the building. Team's fired up. We think we got a lot of pieces in place. The guys have been going hard at it all summer ball and fall camp, and we're really excited to kind of hit the field here in the upcoming days and, really put what we think is about to be a pretty special 2027 season to place. So I'll kind of start with an opening statement, and then I'll turn it over to questions from the media in attendance and via Zoom. First, I just want to start off by saying, last year felt like a success coming off of the 2025 campaign. When we started the year something like 2-4 and had to finish 5-1 down the stretch to make sure we went to a bowl game. And then, what really... that bowl game was our first bowl win with me as the head football coach, beating Eastern Washington in the Armed Forces Bowl, which then later goes on to feel more like a loss because, we were just, 365 days removed from beating them in a bowl. They were hosting a national title trophy. So what happened between us and them, I think, goes to show that though we were excited to get our first bowl win 2 years ago, we really let up some ground in the conference and nationally last year, even though we definitely had a successful season last year, concluding with a Motor City Bowl win over Purdue, a couple top 25 wins, but that choke against Idaho State really cost us that outside-in chance of making the college football playoff. Something we've struggled with in the past, too, is we've seemed to drop our cross-division games, which puts us in a weird spot when we're competing to make the conference championship. But as everybody knows, there's a little bit new format this year in the Pac-12. With the conference realignment going on, with Youngstown State and Central Arkansas moving to the Conference USA, going down to 14 teams. We're just running as a 14-team league now. And when we had previously had 10 and 12 game conference schedules, now we've changed it to where there is an 8-game conference schedule. So we think that, and I was kind of part of that process as I was brought in with our athletic director and the conference commissioner, along with a multitude of our coaches, when they were gauging our opinion. And the way we see it is we have a really, really good conference, but we need to start proving it more nationally because I said it last year. It doesn't feel right that we only got 2 teams in the CFP. I think by far we're the best conference, probably the deepest conference. I think you take the bottom of our conference, a team like Idaho State, and they're able to beat a lot of teams from some of these quote-unquote power conferences. So we're really excited for that. Obviously now there's also the new recruiting rules in place, just like in what happened in 2024 when they set the house settlement and there was roster caps. They're going to be a lot more stricter on that. So we've got to be a lot more precise with our recruiting, which I think will help us. We're going to have about 14 scholarships open this year that we know of. We'll see if anybody hits the portal. So with that, we just got to find where we need those needs, but we're excited for that challenge. I think we're in a really good spot where we don't lose too many people next year either, as my first class will be juniors this year, which makes me feel good, seeing that we'll have a lot of junior contributions. And that first class of mine was so important to what we're trying to build here. So with that said, I'm really excited to start the season, and I'll take some questions.
Hey Coach, Cam Packer, Villain Sports. With the Vandals ranked near the middle of the Pac-12 in early projections, what will define success for this team in 2027?
Yeah, I saw that we're ranked 5th in the preseason poll. The preseason Big 12 or Pac-12 poll, that is. We're not ranked nationally, so that's not where we want to be. We think we're a nationally ranked team. We think we are. We've been a contender every single year. I think we've been out of the conference game by no more than 2 games. Most of the times, 1 game. So it's a little shocking to see us in 5th, especially with the recombination of the conference, like it was my first year here, where pending some controversial decisions at the end of the year via the conference office. It should have been us versus North Dakota State in that title game. Unfortunately, it wasn't. And Western Carolina goes on to win that game, a team that we had beaten earlier in the year. And then they went on a run all the way to the national title themselves in year 1. So we feel confident with it back in this kind of format of everybody in one league, that we've got a real shot to be successful in 2027. And with that, what defines success in 2027 for this team, Sam? I think we need to get over that hump. We need to make a conference title game. But I am going to hate it if there's chaos at the end of the year and we make a conference championship game and we lose and we miss out on the college football playoffs. In the modern era of college football, sometimes it's better not to make that conference game and be that third team. It would not hurt my soul to see, we're ranked 10th or 11th or 9th, something like that, and we missed a conference championship game. And, we have a team that's 12th and 5th battling each other. And, we feel confident no matter what, we're safe in our position. Now, that's not what we're going into. We expect to win all of our games. We expect to be the number one team in the country. But we play in the toughest conference in the country. So we've got to also be honest with ourselves and realize, with one loss, there's a chance you're not in the conference title game, especially with this new format. And with that, we need to make sure that we are the best position that we can be to be able to make that run into the college football playoffs, because that is what will be success for us this year. Not necessarily a Pac-12 championship, but we want to be in the college football playoff for the first time in our program's history.
Last year, the Vandals showed regression in the passing game. Do you anticipate evolution in the offensive scheme?
Yeah, we did see a little bit of a regression last year in our passing game, which was not something we expected. In 2025, we started with Eric Root at quarterback, our Elite 11 recruit, who, hey, shout out to him. It's not every day you get to see an Elite 11 guy who'll be spending his third season on a roster while basically being a backup. So we're excited about that, but by all means, he's made strides. He could very easily win the job this year. We'll see, but obviously we've been very happy with Jamal Ficken. His first year, he comes in halfway through the year when we were in that slump after the Incarnate Word game, I think in the fourth quarter, goes on a tear. His next game he throws or is responsible for like 7 individual touchdowns. But it's no secret. In half a season last year, essentially, he threw 27 touchdowns and 10 picks. And then in a full season last year, he only threw 23 touchdowns with 13 picks. So, we're not too concerned about the INT number. That's added games. Obviously, we'd like it to be under the double digits, but losing the touchdown numbers is a little disheartening. That said, we've always been a run-first team, so we are focused on being a run-first team. And if you look at that, he rushed for 70 yards more last year. And again, I know less games, we need more out of him, but we also don't want him to get hurt. He did get hurt twice last year where he just missed limited time, but we got to keep him healthy. He also rushed for more touchdowns last year, and we really think that Jamal Ficken, if he's as good as we think he is, can easily push Eric Berrier over there in Cheney for the Heisman and Conference Player of the Year. So do we expect improvements offensively? Sure. Is it going to be strictly passing game? I can't sit up here and lie to you and tell you that we'll be solely focused on the passing game.
The transfer portal has been a double-edged sword for the program. Last year being banned from using it.
Yeah, last year due to a clerical error, whatever the reason the NCAA did, still a little upset our athletic director didn't fight for this more, even if it was just a 1-week ban. But yeah, we were banned from using the transfer portal this last offseason, which is fine. We did more than enough that we think we needed to in the high school ranks. The only place it's going to kind of hurt us is you see like how we're kind of light on seniors this year with only 14 spots. But otherwise, from what I've heard from coaches around the league, there wasn't a lot of talent out there anyways. The only guy who kind of reached out to us was a 4-star transfer from Alabama at left tackle. While it would have been nice to add that young man to our team, go look at our tackles. We'll be just fine without him. Obviously, we would love to bring more Vandals in the fold, and we would have happily welcomed him. But, sometimes not having transfer portal guys helps because we know what we have. We spent, 15, 16, 17 weeks sometimes, more than that, almost 20 weeks recruiting some of these high school guys, right? It's a little hard to get to know somebody in the transfer portal 5 weeks. Now we've had success with guys like Sky Priestley and Isaiah Carlson at running back, but outside of that, we haven't had a ton of major contributors come to us from the portal. So could we have found somebody? Maybe. But, if and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas, right? So we're focused on our high school talent and developing that into national championship contenders.
Coach, with all the new recruits and transfers coming in, how do you plan to establish team chemistry before the season opener?
Yeah, well, I kind of just touched on it there in your last question with not bringing in the transfer portal guys. Most of this team has been together. Most of our starters have been together for multiple years. I covered it kind of in our recruiting recap, but there's not a lot of guys we got this year that we expect to be immediate contributors outside of maybe Walter Good. So a lot of these guys were depth guys. My first 2 classes, I got a lot of the people in here we wanted that fit our scheme. And what I was looking for in that last class, and I'm not saying they're going to be career bench riders by any means, but we didn't need immediate starters, which is what we did need. I mean, when we inherited this team, it was bad. It was called a cupcake. We now have it to where we're nationally relevant within, coming into our 4th season. We've been to 3 straight bowl games. Plan on making it 4. Hopefully more bowl games because we want to make the college football playoff. I want to have a rose in my mouth at the end of the year. So, I think it helps that we do the high school route and we haven't been too reliant on transfer portal guys like I mentioned. So I think it benefits us. I think we're really excited. Team chemistry, I mean, you got a local game. We have I know things are not quite finalized, but we're planning on being week 0 in Seattle, Washington against the Washington Huskies. And we have a huge alumni base there. It's our 3rd largest, I believe. My SID told me alumni base. So we expect our fans to be out there, be rowdy. They're ranked 15th in the country. It's a really good prove-it game for us coming into this year. And we got a few new wrinkles we're excited to throw out.
The fan base has grown more vocal about competing for a Pac-12 title. How do you balance those expectations with the reality of rebuilding certain parts of the roster?
Yeah, I'm not really on the message boards or anything, obviously. I'm on Twitter. I see the chatter. It's just fans being fans. It's fandom. At the end of the day, anybody rational knows that we are leaps and bounds ahead of where we were 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago. We're a real contender, and I think the majority of the fan base is happy with that. We'll let the loud ones be loud, keyboard warrior, whatever you want to call it, but we're focused on, like you said, competing for a Pac-12 title. But at the end of the day, if I lose that and win a national title, I don't think anyone's going to be that upset that maybe we miss out on the Pac-12 crown. Now, obviously, that's one of our goals this year, and we plan on doing it, and we think we have a team that can do it. I said at the end of the year we expected to do it. So all I'm saying is anyone that even whispers that I think my seat is hot if I don't win the Pac-12 title, I think it's crazy. As far as balancing expectations and rebuilding certain parts of the roster, I kind of touched on it already. The only place we really lost people is the D-line, and we're real heavy there. In fact, we recruited Walter Good to be a kind of a change of pace guy, and he could easily be our starter this year. So outside of that, we plan on returning the majority of our people that have been on the team. We don't expect a lot of new starters anywhere. Part of that's with the transfer portal. So we think we're going to have great chemistry. We think we're going to be able to hit the ground running. We're excited to show the Huskies that here in a couple days. All right. That's it. All right. Thank you, guys. We're excited for the season. Go Vandals.